So I was doing some stuff recently with digital, and it occurred to me that not everybody uses Docusign. In the Toronto Real Estate Board, they took the decision to give us Docusign for free and integrate it into the Toronto Real Estate Board. I've never looked at it. Ed is becoming an expert of it. I think, Rick, you use Repre.
I use Repre.
Repre.
You use
You use Docusign.
Yep.
So I thought that it would be really worthwhile to have like a digital session. We haven't left really a lot of time to see how you actually use it, because I'd be curious to know. Until recently, Docusign had no strikeout. Now that they've got a strikeout, it's great, because when you're in negotiations, not like before in the market in February and March, there was no negotiation. You just sent in your best offer and hope you were selected. But now that we're actually into negotiating, the offers actually come back.
Yeah.
And then you have to strike out and put in. So I've kind of perfected Docusign. I'm comfortable with it, because the way I do it is I strike out and I make a text box. And that's how I do it. But now there's Docusign. I don't know which is the best, and maybe there's something that I like better.
The best is the one you know.
Well, but at least let's see what others are doing. Let's see your best practices within using. And Ed, I'm going to ask you to come and show what you can just in Docusign.
I'm still learning it, but I'll do the best I can.
Yeah, just
believe
such
me.
and this Bonnie, you know it inside out.
Thomas knows it inside out. I know
it too.
But we use an I'm just asking, we use an iPad Pro, okay? So my son, Thomas, actually, sorry he's not here, he's at a wedding. He's gotten rid of every piece of paper I own. So I have on my phone every.
And he's not coming to the invitation party
Unfortunately,
either.
that's because we have a family reunion.
Do you want me to set this up?
But he
Yeah,
could
yeah, why
do,
not?
he could absolutely do a session on it whenever you want.
Then that would be something to
But
take
see,
note of.
session.
This is, he's got the iPad Pro, so we just take the listing, everything's done, they sign everything on the listing, it's emailed directly to the person. We do an offer, they sign everything right on the iPad Pro, it's emailed directly to the client, it's emailed back. I don't ever see a piece of paper until it comes on my phone when he does it. And I have all our deals are on my phone, and we don't have files anymore.
Are you using Docusign?
Yes, we use Docusign with iPad Pro.
So just quickly, Melody Ann and then Kevin, and then we.
I mean, we use Docusign, but I just have a question. Is anyone using DealTap?
No.
I actually was going to do a trial,
Because-
because they've reinvented the wheel.
Well, because
Yeah.
we signed up for the trial, but I just wondered if anybody was
Yeah,
using
I
it.
haven't even, I may have lost the trial window. I used to use them, but that was before we were really real. So, okay, and then Kevin?
I started using DocuSign just over 2 years ago when Ed did a presentation here. And I had fought it for so long because I didn't really understand it. And it's been a huge time saver for me. And I had already had PDF Expert on my phone. So like when Ed walked us through how to use it, that part was fine. But I love the DocuSign app on my phone and just kind of use it on the go. It's quick and easy. Not to do your initial offer. I actually did one. I was at a home inspection and I did an offer on my phone. But for the negotiation part, it's quick and easy on the go. Just tap, 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 and it's gone within seconds. And then you have, like, you can email it from there all as one file. Like, it's really easy.
Yeah, so I mean, that to me is still the winner, but I haven't looked at the others. And then just quickly, in case I do not do this, who has not paid their STAR subscription by email? I know that a few came through, thank you.
I have not yet.
Please, if you can do it by the end of this weekend. Or you owe me a...
Everybody does.
I don't think so.
It just came out on this
Yes.
email?
You did, yeah.
And I paid you, yes.
No, but Laura has.
I did not?
David has. I don't believe so, Donnie.
Okay, I'm not getting your emails. They're going to
That's
Thomas.
bizarre.
No, because they go to Thomas.
But I'm sending them to you as well.
I don't know why I'm not getting them.
Yeah.
Check in your social box here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so Rick, did you have a comment quickly before
Well, I
I...
was going to say, I've used a number of different things. Right now, Remax Realtron is paid for Loop for all of their agents for the next 2 years. I haven't delved into it much. I've taken a couple of courses on it. It's taken everything complete. It's really something. I use Repre constantly. And really, there's so many of them, but really what you're doing is looking at different levels and costs, obviously associated with that. Docusign and Docusign, and they are getting better with strikeout features. I've got texting and Repre. I don't know if they've got it yet. But as you go up, certainly you're going to pay more. but you're getting more services. And with .loop and with Recre, I can say, you're not running from web forms. You're running, they are equivalent to web forms. If your web forms is down, I don't care, I just go in my Recre anyway. I only use web forms if I'm manually having something signed anymore. But everything else, as I say, but it's a difference. How many people used to use ACT as a database, or what was the other one that was out there? Just your basic database,
Maximizer.
Outlook, Maximizer, all of those. They are non-industry specific platforms, and they work, they're great.
Okay, Rick, can you do a demo?
Sure.
Okay, so let's see how far
Go
we
ahead
get
with
there.
that.
And then maybe you'll do a quick demo.
Okay, Docusign, a year ago, I wouldn't have touched it with a 10-foot pole. And I am a favor of Docusign. The company I am with, before Trev changed, adopted Docusign. I screamed and I said, I'm the techie guy, why the hell didn't you check with me first? And they said, too late, we've already done it. So I came kicking and screaming into it, and then I found out that Lone Wolf purchased Docusign. They put big bucks into it, and did make a difference. There's still things you have to learn on it. The reason that companies will use it now is it's Lone Wolf. So when I do a deal here, it's just, like, I'm still new at it, okay? So here's some, like, here's one this one sold this week. So here is the whole deal, and on this here, when it's input, it goes into our head, into our accounting. Now, again, remember, we don't have an office, so our accountant's in Georgetown and another one's in Ottawa. Okay, that's sort of, everything's in the sky. But when it's all done, it goes into the accounting system for the company, and I get paid directly from it. So that's why the companies like the migration of the package working with it. Docusign, that's not going to work with. So I'm getting in favor of it, okay? And believe me, at first it was like a Mac user going to Windows. That's not a pleasant thing to see, okay? We just don't go that way. Believe we're obnoxious, we know that, but we can't help it. So here is, for instance, here is the screen, let's say on 62 Longstaff. This one is sold at the moment, conditional on a home inspection, but here's all my paperwork in here, all the documents. Here is the checklist. The checklist is where everything has to go to the office. You see the times that watch there? That means I'm waiting for the office to approve that. So in other words, the office is going to look at every document I've done, and then I'll get a check mark beside it that they've seen it, I've got all my initials right, all my signatures right, and so forth. And once all the documents are done, then it's registered, it goes into the system, and it goes into the accounting department. It's all done automatically.
You uploaded it already.
Because I put it all in here, okay? So for instance, here is, again, we don't have an office to take a deposit, so we scan it, and the selling agent takes that to any CIBC and deposits it. So there is the deposit check, okay, on this transaction. Here is Susan, my client. Now, I sold in this house 20 years ago. There's her FinTrack, okay, so the FinTrack is up there. So the office goes through all the documents here to make sure that everything's okay. Here's the agreement of purchase and sale. And yes, you can edit the offer on the agreement of purchase and sale, as I've done in here, as you can see, with buyer back to seller and so forth, okay?
Did you import that document though? Sorry.
Don't know, all the documents are online.
All they're online?
You can go to web forms and do everything DocuSign and upload it, but why would it take $200?
Right.
All the forms are online.
It's also very easy for the client. When you send it to them, we had.
Oh, the clients, it's easier than DocuSign.
If
Yeah.
the client just loves it, because we just had this lady, 40-year-old lovely lady teacher, has no tech knowledge whatsoever. She was frightened to death that we were sending her something. And we just, over the phone, said, you just hit there, and you hit there, and you hit there. She thought she'd become the new guru of technology because she could do it.
Bonnie's absolutely right. The ease of use on the actual signing is the best I've seen. So I'm still having a problem. How do I get it from documents into the checklist for the company? Okay, so
We just scan it.
I'm getting it figured out. Their tech support is crap. It really is not good at all. I'm so disappointed. They actually told me things that weren't correct. I knew that. So I'm not struck with the tech support. So we're in a bit of a fight with them at the moment now. Give us some more better screen captures and so forth for better training. But it's part of the Toronto Real Estate Board now, and it's free. So why would I change? And all the documents are online. Whether you're using, you don't have to use web forms at all. I like web forms. So I could still download web forms. I could bring them into this and sign them here. So you have the flexibility of doing whatever you want. So there is, for instance, the documents, and then you can go all the pages. So there's the deal. And once it's done, then it's done. Now let me just go back here, and I've got, like, I did this offer here. This one, I like this one, I double-ended it. And this was $810,000.
Oh, nice one.
Now FinTrack, they have, see here, they've already approved these ones, okay?
Oh, that's neat.
Okay, so CVM, that means when you use their wizard that creates all the documents required. So in other words, you're going to do an agreement of purchase and sale, it knows what documents you need. Probably will give you more than you need, but it's going to have M's beside mandatory. That means you can't mess up and not do a document. So
Wow.
that's a safety feature on it. If it's not really a required document, the M could be there, but you didn't require one because the buyer was a customer or something like that, then the office would know that it doesn't require it, so they just sort of forget it was there. So, and you can stick a picture of the house on there, so, and all the forms are over here. So here are the forms, and here's all the contacts. Oh, I'm the only contact because I was the agent. But if you had contacts here, you'd have the lawyer, you'd have everybody in there as part of the agreement. So that's a bit of what it looks like. And down here, I can go to here if I want to create my own forms. If I don't want to go into a transaction, then here's the Toronto Real Estate Board forms. And let's say I need a FinTrack, so I'm going to go individual. I didn't spell it right. Individ. Just do individ. There we go. Individ. No. I got two eyes. So there's the forms. What do I want? RIA or TREB? Okay. So I can go over here and I can preview it and make a new form. And then when I make that new form, do I want to create it to a new transaction? Do I want it just a standalone form because I only want one form? I did this yesterday with a referral. As a matter of fact, the referral used to be a member of this group. She's in Owen Sound.
Oh, Wanda.
Wanda, yeah. So that I had to do a referral form with Wanda, or create a new form and add it to an existing transaction. So it's a learning curve. There's no doubt about it. But I can understand. I would prefer to keep using Docusign, but I can understand my office's method in saying, look, it puts everything right into the accounting and prints your check. Oh, I like that. So that's it. Not much more I can tell you about it. Okay?
A lot of offices are.
Now, how is that on the mobile platform? Oh,
On the
God.
iPad, it is mobile. The app was terrible before. The app it works on the phone, but on the iPad, and I'm using the iPad Pro like Monty, it's the same as this. Because don't forget, the iPad Pro screen is almost as big as this big. So you don't use the app on the iPad. I don't use the app. I use Safari.
He does.
Yeah.
From the customer's perspective, DocuSign versus Authentisign, are you finding it?
Authentisign is easier.
It is easier.
Easier than DocuSign.
Wow.
What makes it easier?
I wish I could just, it's just so easy to tap on with no, like, getting to the tapping on DocuSign is a couple of steps.
Yeah.
With
I've
I've never had any client say that was difficult. I've only had them say, wow, that was easy.
Yes, it's fine. DocuSign is great. But if you try Authentisign, and it's free, try it. It is click start, and it goes right there.
I'm not a member of TREP,
You don't have to be, we weren't a member of
because
TREP.
does it
I know.
work the same in terms of sending? Like my office is all set up to receiving DocuSign.
10 seconds.
Then use DocuSign to change if you're happy with
If
it.
it's gonna mess up how it communicates with the office,
Yeah, no,
Right.
I'm just
Yeah,
saying,
do it whatever works for you.
but this is an option.
Yeah.
But if you're using DocuSign, you're happy, don't change.
Authentisign, it just comes up automatically. Here's your initials, here's your name, click, 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 done. It comes
like
up immediately.
DocuSign. It's getting started, it's a little bit different. Where do you want to draw your signature, or do you want to do this? this doesn't do this. This comes up and says, which font do you want? Or they've already pre-selected one. Boom, hit that. And once you hit that, what you're gonna click is flashing. Flashing, 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 I'm done. It, I know, it's the same,
Yeah,
but if you compare it, you'd like it actually
I
better.
went kicking and screaming to Docusign.
I know.
So
I'm not changing!
I almost applied to drive a bus when they said they were gonna go to Fantasy. I really thought, you know.
We went to Fantasy because it was
Do
free.
they apply to the allowable?
So Ed,
My office is paying for that.
But I'm happy with it now, but I'm still learning the navigation.
the forms that are in Docusign from the Toronto Real Estate Board, can you create a kit, or do you have to go and insert all your clauses every time
No, they're,
when
I'm
you
sorry.
build it?
I'm not sure.
Like in web forms, you can build a kit, and then you can make a copy of it.
Well, you can make your own forms if you want.
A template.
But
So
all
you
the
can make a
forms.
template in this as well?
Yeah, yeah. Actually, but they're all there.
I know, but your clauses aren't there. I don't use
Oh,
Toronto
the
Real
office
Estate Board
clauses aren't there, are they? No.
Yeah, so your Schedule A, every time you gotta go in and plug them in,
Yeah.
right? Whereas at web forms, mine are plugged in because I've made a template and I just import it
Yeah, you can do
into
a template.
Dotloop in
Yeah.
that case,
I'm
right?
sure there's. we don't
I'm
do
just
the
asking,
schedule.
just wondering if there's a way around
Yeah,
it.
you know something?
Probably is.
I'm 99% listing agent. I haven't worked with a buyer in so long I can't remember. But I'm seeing one tomorrow at noon, and
Shocking.
Well, if you were listening
You
to
double-ended one.
David's
You had to have a
report, you might
buyer.
be working with
well,
both
he was a
buyers.
customer.
Oh, was he?
I don't,
That's what I said
no
last.
dual
Good for you.
representation, he was a customer.
Good.
And he signed the offer of the steering wheel of my car.
Yeah, it's fine.
So it works. Anyways, that's a sign. I don't mind it, I'm getting more and more used to it. Down here, you can create your own folders down here, my folders, shared documents, all your transaction folders are in here. I don't know what this one is, oh, tasks that you want to do, faxing, I don't know why that would be there. Oh, these are your
Somebody asked me for a fax.
contacts. These are contacts that you've dealt with, you can save them in the database, lawyers' names, clients' names, and so forth. So there isn't much that isn't there, it's just learning to use it. So I'm getting used to it, but I sure as heck wasn't excited when we first got it, to be honest with you. But free is good. Okay?
Okay, maybe Rick, you want to just give us a quick demo of your
I don't have a
You can use this computer.
computer, right?
Okay,
I can borrow one,
you can use this one if you're okay
hopefully
with
know my
it.
passcodes.
You're okay with an
My
app?
machines, they come up automatically.
You okay with an app?
Should be.
It's the same, it's not pronounced.
Apples and Air. How many people were at Realtor Quest?
I have both there.
Okay, because it was interesting, because there are about 15 new digital signature platforms all over the place. But I kept coming and saying, okay, but does it do this? Well, no, okay, then I don't need to talk. And I wasn't trying to be rude, it was just, you know, if it doesn't do what I've already got, then I'm not going backwards. I use Repre. Now, your initial cost, or your cost, if you don't know anybody, is $50 a month. So that would be the first. If you go through somebody like me, and I'm not suggesting that you do, it's $30 a month. I pay substantially less because I'm an ambassador for the product and, you know, that sort of thing. Although I confess, I really haven't been doing much in the way of demos or anything else. I keep waiting for them to tell me that I'm not an ambassador anymore, but they have. So be that as it may. Our company, as I said, has now put Dotloop and paid for everybody for 2 years. So,
Enough now.
okay, good, I remembered my codes. So, this is what Repre looks like inside. You pick a client, it gives you whatever their transactions are. If I click on that, it's going to tell me all of the documents and all of the processes all the way through. I'll pick on one that's been a huge. I don't know how to make this go down here.
Just both hands, yes.
You don't have to.
How many figures on it?
How's your eye?
Iritis of the eye. The inflammation of the eye happens to people apparently 1 to 3 times in their lives, and it's take these anti-inflammatory drops and come back and see me in a week.
Oh, cool.
This is a transaction that went on over months. It's a rural property. It's the most difficult deal I've ever done in 40 years. Almost didn't close. We closed it an hour and a half before the deadline. It's a story that I won't share with you now, but literally everything is here, and if there's something that I need to add in, I can just go ahead and add a document and go in and, you know, I'm not going to go into Ed's files, but I can add whatever I want. I have a place that I just do general signing as if it were Docusign or a Vendosign. But whenever I do this, it goes out as a link, and all of the documents are in here. Let's go up here to forms. You can pick all your forms. It will ask you if you want separate forms or packages. So it's already got pre-packaged things like, okay, so if you're doing a listing, you're going to need the working with the realtor, you're going to need the instructions, you're going to need the contract form, you're going to need the data form, and it'll give you the whole package if you want it. The cool thing about it is everything is already in the system, all the clauses, and I can add forms, I can add custom clauses I have.
Whose clauses? Oria's, not yours.
Oria's, Kriya's, and you can add all of yours in as well. Like when I go into to clauses, it'll literally show me standard clauses, custom being mine. And so I can do everything right there, but everything that I do, if somebody sends me an offer back and it's a PDF, or not PDF, I just add it in, and then I can strike out the old price, I can put in the new price, I can place wherever I want the initials.
Right, so can you create a template within this program?
Yes. You can do just about anything in this program. Few things that it does give you is unlimited storage, which I don't know how they're going to work that over years, but that's what they say. Now to go a step beyond this, I think .loop now has. Haven't had enough time to play with Deal Tap. It had some really, the 2.0 had some really nice ideas that didn't work. I take it the new one does, and if it does, it'll be a
Number
really,
2
really
was supposed to
cool
be better
program.
than 1, and it wasn't.
That it wasn't.
No.
That's right.
No, they've been a disaster.
.loop takes everything that Repre has, the things that I found are its advantage, and I haven't had enough time to play with it, and maybe I can by the invitational so that I can give you the comparisons between both. .loop automatically tells you where initials should be placed, which is one of the things DealTop was looking at doing.
They are doing that.
Yeah.
Is it now doing, because they talked about it first, .loop does it.
Yeah.
So when you're doing a listing agreement, it says, okay, well, then you're going to want the seller to initial here, initial here, initial here, initial here. Repre does not do that. So that's something where you just lift it and say, I want to, you get all the different parties and you say, okay, I want these people, these 3 people to initial this, initial that, sign here, and you just move the signatures. Now when they get it, they're going to get an email that says, Rick Surgison has sent something for you to electronically sign. And all they have to do is open it, agree to do it digitally, and then it'll take them right to signatures, and they can either draw it with their mouse or pick a font. There's several fonts. And then it takes them, but it will guide them right down the page. It jumps the page.
Can I make a comment? I think it's important also to know that those that are using web forms, and I do like web forms a lot, because I'm so used to it, and you have all your clauses in web forms and all that. You can do everything in web forms. You can save it from web forms. You can, and with the new web forms, when you email the whole package as editable, you can, they do come as individual documents, yes, unlike they used to be as one document. You can save it, you can be with your client filling out the forms and all the rest of it, and then when you're done, any one of these, you can import it into that, yes, signature, that software to do your signature. Yeah. So which one you use,
this has it already
doesn't really,
intact, was
yeah,
the,
it doesn't
the
really
main
matter
advantage from back then. These things keep evolving. So now Docusign has features that it didn't. When it didn't have a strikeout, I went,
That's right, yeah.
okay, I'm done with that, and automatically went to reprint. I'm most comfortable in this because this is what I've used now for a couple of years. Dot loop looks like it has a few advantages over it, and that's why I'll look deeper in that. I'm not afraid to pay for something as long as it really, really works well for me. I will say the client end, and I had an 86-year-old dear lady that I just sold her condo and went into a retirement home. We did the listing paper, signed. When we got the offer in, unfortunately, I was lying on my side 22 hours a day for 4 weeks with a detached retina, and it happened the first day. I literally came in from Sunnybrook and still had my everything else. So I went and said, okay, are you going to be okay with it? Oh, sure, we'll try it. She loved it. She just thought, like, why would anybody ever use paper again? And she was 86 years old, doesn't even have a cell phone, has an answering machine that's so old and out of whack at halftime didn't work. But she absolutely loved, and all you did was, and on the phone, all it shows you is click here, click here, click here, click here, done, finish, and automatically it sends to every party that had a signature on it. So even saying I didn't get a copy, oh yeah, no, you got a copy, it's automatic. Anything they sign, next thing that happens instantly in their email is, it comes to my email, but it also gets copied to all of theirs. And then with dot loop going a step further, you can actually add more people into the loop and select what access they get to that loop. So again, I'll get maybe a little bit more versed on that, and then I can share that with you.
Is it the same as Docusign where you can set the sign order?
Yes.
Yeah, I can go in here and print off, and this transaction that I've opened up here literally is about 8 months and about, I'm gonna say well over 100 documents. And it will show every single initial, every single signature in order on every single document in the entire process, and then you can print off the whole thing, so the lender sometimes will want that. Say, here you go.
I just want to interrupt. I think we just scratched the surface on here because
You really have.
there are some questions, and maybe this is for the invitational. Because, for example, I find web forms not as reliable, or maybe I'm not using it properly, but I only want to put the name and address in once. But what I found with web forms is all of a sudden, when you get to form 801, it seems to jumble things around.
Sometimes it does.
So the question is, what's the process? And here, can you import all your custom clauses? Over the years, I've got at least 40 custom clauses that I put in from all the smart lawyers I've met. And how easy is it to put that in here and use your custom clauses and create templates? I'm asking these questions.
I can copy in all my custom clauses. I can actually download
I'm not
my
asking you to answer that now.
database.
But I'm saying, would that be of value at the invitational to somebody who really
If not
loves
the invitational,
DocuSign?
then one of
And
our
maybe
meetings.
bring all your favorite custom clauses.
And actually get up and...
No, forget that.
Well, you can
use
share
that
them.
much
But
I share
just,
mine regularly.
just the question is, can I have somebody walk me through this and pretend to send an
Well,
offer?
we could do that as
so
part
that I
of
actually
a
see.
rebar camp.
Yeah.
Say anybody, one of the advantages of doing a rebar camp is if you're not interested in it, you go take another session.
Yeah, that's right, so that's not diminished to you.
Like if you already
Except
understand
that
what.
doesn't really work for our group, and especially for the small group.
Try that.
So the question is, would there be value for somebody to say, okay, this is Reprieve, this is how I start, I'm gonna send Lou an offer. And
I
we
can
do
do
that
that. I've done
and
that.
show that we see it, and then the next person does Docusign and what, so we can actually see how it works, as opposed to the description, which is valuable.
One of the things that
Deal
Repre does is it actually downloads, you can upload the property information, the seller's names
Rick,
and
I
everything.
get that, but the question is,
Yeah.
would people have value in seeing that? Actually, the demonstration, a real, let's create an offer and see how each system does it. I think that would be hugely valuable. Dale says no. Why not?
Well, okay. If you're gonna do that in this setting, but not at the invitation, because that's not what that's all about. This is all hands-on, let's teach you something.
Invitation was designed to be hands-on
Yeah,
from the
but
beginning,
No,
and to leave there with actually having done something. So
Are we, are we
we-
doing all of them?
Well, we
So-
can,
well, I would
That's what I
say
was
that
gonna
the
say, is have
top
a few,
three.
few groups, right?
right? So
everybody gets
they
coverage.
can be done in like 10 minutes each, and then at least then you can ask them questions, because again, if you simulate, let's create an offer, not go through, this
Yeah.
was a great introduction, And I'm glad to see that people are using different systems. So we've got 3 systems in the group.
Are you
I'd really
using
like to see
Doc-
Deal Top.
Okay, so why don't you do
I'm not gonna be there.
Zan, the whole trick, like, one of the gals with our organization, she came to one of my iPad classes, and we got talking, and she says, I adore Authentisign. And that's when I was first learning that I was gonna be kicking and screaming at this thing. And I said, you really like it? She said, it's so slick, it's so fast. And she went in and did a thing in about 10 minutes, and I just was awed. So it's all the same. It's whatever you're used to. Whatever, Lone Wolf is about Authentisign. It's really good
What were
now.
you using prior to this?
I used Docusign for 4 years. And I used PDF Expert. Before offers, I used PDF Expert to sign everything. Because it was legal.
We have a request from David to talk for 2 minutes, and then who's staying
Can I
for
ask my
lunch?
2 questions first?
Very quickly.
One is, if everybody's relatively happy with the systems that they use,
Yep.
right? What is it going to take? I use Docusign, I'm really happy with it. Chances of me going to Repre, pretty slim unless it's really, really slick, right? So what are the chances of me switching my system based on something that I see you do that I can work into Docusign? Okay, first of all. Second is, if your office wasn't